Finding faith in uncertainty. There has been an increased sense of vulnerability, and this is enhanced every time a famous character is reported to have died. It gives an opportunity to consider where our faith fits into this. For some, it may be a shockwave causing people to awaken to the possibility that life may not go on forever, a state we have been lulled into thinking. In many churches there are people, particularly of the more mature generations, who might describe themselves as having faith, but having always considered faith to be a personal matter. Therefore they are not always used to talking about their personal faith position or understanding. And this current situation may be making them dwell on that, begin to think about it. There are certainly different responses to the current situation that have been seen. 1. The person whose life has moved away from God, and this has been a wake-up call to them. Many of us have busy lives. Many have grown up with a belief or understanding about God, who he is, and something about his wanting to have contact with us. But the circumstances of life have intervened. Work, relationships, and commitments can all get in the way. I have known examples of people who once had a clear experience of God and had in some way lost touch with him. But being prompted in the current situation to make a move to find him again. Time to think. 2. The person who's left full of questions. Where is God in all this is often a key question. For some volunteers, hearing a person with questions can be unsettling. However, do not be worried. This is perfectly normal. People who have known God all their lives will at times come out with uncertainties and questions when the stability and foundation of their lives are shaken. And certainly this has been a time of shaking. You do not have to have all the answers. In fact, just being there and recognizing the reality of their questions is all you have to do. It is God they're asking the questions of, and it is to him that we need to direct them for the answers. 3. The person for whom the crisis digs a deeper chasm between them and God. This crisis raises more questions, opens up fresh wounds, or reopens old sores, so that the person cries out, why? Why, God? Why are you allowing this to happen? How can you? How dare you? This may be based on their deep hurt and pain, a sense of rejection or of God letting them down. It may be that this person sees you as representing God, and because of this they may respond to you negatively. Do not take it personally. However, neither should we or you be expected to bear the brunt of their anger towards God. Get them to take it to God directly, to tell him their deepest thoughts, to express to him all that they have bottled up. There are numerous passages in the Bible where the writers behave like this and offload to God. By doing this, it connects them to God. It reinforces that he is there and that he wants to hear from them. 4. Some people's lives are actually still continuing in many ways as before. And I can think of people where it's almost, they can be oblivious to the current situation really, and maybe even in denial about the degree of it. And you may hear this. Some will find safety in this, although there is a risk that when something happens which truly challenges their status quo, then that will be the time of their greatest need for support. And I know there will be some people who will say, I don't need a phone call at the moment. I don't need help or support at present. But for them, just knowing that you are there may be what they need to know, so that if they need support in the future, they actually may receive it then. A large number of people have more time to think. They may be considering who they are and where they fit into the context of the world and society. They may be reflecting on life, love, health, faith. As a volunteer, you are being there at this time for these people, so that they can gently unpack where they are at and the process they are going through. Not for you to take control, not for you to influence, but to allow them to work it through. And for you to be there as God's representative to them at this time. Stability in an unstable world. And from a faith perspective, I honestly believe that knowing about God can bring this stability. God is God, and he has not changed whatever else may be changing. We believe that God wants us to speak to him in prayer. This has not changed. He knows of each of us personally, and he also knows what each of us is going through, and he wants to hear from us. And we can say anything to him, as he already knows our hearts and accepts us for who we are. God calls us to trust in him. If ever there was a time when we need his help, it is now. And we need to trust that he wants the best for us. And we need to put our trust and faith in him. Never forget, the love that took Jesus to the cross is the same love that he has for us today in our current situation. God has a plan for each of us, and he wants us to know that we are dearly loved by him, and he wants us to share that love with others.